guides you through. Can you get some benefit? Absolutely, yes. But what is it essentially, even on a subtle level, doing? There is control involved. You have to pay attention to what they're saying. Obviously, it's not a guided meditation otherwise.
Totally.
So what does that do? It keeps you in the plastic bucket or near the plastic bucket more than a technique of completely letting go does. Now,
wow,
the technique that I teach is not just sitting there, letting go, but that is a critical component of it.
That is amazing. What else do we do that makes it harder to meditate?
I think the trappings that we've talked about, all of the ritual that people think needs to go along with it, whether it's a certain kind of incense, a certain candle, a certain lighting. I'm a proponent of wherever you can think you can meditate, you can close your eyes, you should be able to do it. And you don't have to be wearing certain robes. You don't have to shave your head like I do. I shave my head not... By the way, just to be crystal clear for the audience, I shave my head not because of of meditation. I shave my head because of male pattern baldness. Let's just get that right out of the way. And
right.
and so seriously, you don't need special books. You don't need special scriptures. You don't need special anything. What you need is your human mind. Do you have a human mind? Yes, you do. So if you have your human mind, you can learn to meditate regardless of how active your human mind is. In other words, how many thoughts that people come to me all the time. They say, I know meditation is good for me. I need to learn it for this reason or that reason. Lower my blood pressure, improve my healing. I want to increase my T cell count because I have this illness. Everybody knows it's beneficial. And they come to me and they say things like that and say, but I don't think I can do it, Kel. I don't think I can do it because I cannot control my mind. My mind is always thinking. I said, first thing I say is not a problem with the way I...
Not a problem, wow. Kelvin teaches meditation worldwide, but he teaches it at a distance. It's like being read by a medium at a distance. There is no distance in reality. The only place distance exists is in this very limited material universe. So it makes sense that, Kelvin, that you'd be able to teach meditation anywhere. But is this something that you're finding more and more people are coming to you for?
Yeah, I teach it virtually now, live. I guess that's not the right term. So I do teach it live, not virtually. I teach it video conference and on the phone or Skype worldwide. And I also obviously teach it in person if I'm in the city where the people are. But in the last 10 years, because of the magic of technology and the internet, I've been teaching probably 95% of the people I teach, I've never met face-to-face. I mean, they're in France, they're in Singapore, they're all over the United States, Canada, South America, South Africa, Asia, India, teaching meditation. It's interesting, Roberta. I'm teaching people in India meditation,
Wow,
How crazy is that? Australia, all over the world, UK. And so it's just a matter of time zones. And I teach 7 days a week, days or evenings, depending on what people's schedules are. So yeah, it's great now with the magic of technology. But as I was saying earlier, people just find me on the internet either through turningwithin.org is my meditation website. I have 3 nonprofits. So my Turning Within meditation is a nonprofit, and Overcoming the Fear of Death is another one of my nonprofits. I always have a kelvinchin.org as well, just so people know, so you don't have to remember all of these website names. All of my websites, you go to one of them, or if you just Google my name, you go to one of them, and the bottom of every page of every website has a link to the other 3 websites. I have 4 websites.
Okay, well, that makes it very easy. I want to say just briefly that Overcoming Your Fear of Death that's a really good book and a really good set of techniques that I never would have thought would be possible. But I can see that by thinking very deeply about the fear of death and focusing on that fear and helping people overcome it, is as important perhaps as making people convinced that there is an afterlife, because some people never can become convinced. I have already learned that. There are people whose fear is such that they can't get over the fear and start knowing the truth. So for people like that, I think your technique is a godsend.
Well, absolutely. And I know we want to just briefly say how the course is structured, the class is structured, but let me just say one sentence on what you just said, which is a lot of people, a lot of my clients come to me because they have fear of death issues or death and dying issues, or they've just lost someone. And so I tell them that it's a two-pronged approach to deal with that. One is understanding, and you can, reading my book and the materials, the blogs I've written and so forth on this. That's the understanding approach. But the other prong of the approach is dealing with our brain and our blood biochemistry and balancing that out, the opposite of turning on the opposite of the fight or flight response, which is what the meditation technique does. So that's the complete approach to dealing with the fear of death issue.
So it all fits together is what you're saying. This right. Ability to go deeper and expand your mind is part of the process of becoming at peace with whatever happens in your life. It makes you more powerful mentally than you can imagine. And I can see that would make sense.
Yeah. It's ultimately every fear distills down to the essence of what? Fear of uncertainty. Because we live in a free will universe. That means, which is beautiful in my opinion, but that also means that we live in an uncertain universe. We don't know exactly what's always going to happen. And so we have to develop an inner security within ourselves, which is based on expanding our conscious capacity of experience of ourselves. Then we don't care about the uncertainty. It's like, bring it on, we're good with it.
I love it. This is a true empowerment. Nothing else is as empowering as being in control of your own fears and being able to choose love. So this all fits with what we've been talking about on Seek Reality, too.
Exactly.
Now, you told me that you were going to give the people listening a freebie,
yes.
And I love that.
Yes. So I want to give anybody, and this I will honor this indefinitely, even if you're listening to Roberta's show, I don't know,
years from
two
now.
weeks, 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now. I don't care when you're listening to this. And you just tell me, Kelvin, I heard Roberta's show, and I will give a $50 off my lifetime membership fee. So I charge people one time, and I give them a lifetime of follow-up. And so they can go on turningwithin.org, and they can see how it's structured, because it depends if you're a student or you're a senior citizen, if you're working adult and so forth, if you're high school and all of this. So I have different amounts because I want to make this available to people as soon as possible. And really, all it requires is people to pay me $95, and then I teach them. And if they need to pay the balance through a payment plan, people do it, and they create their own payment plan. I don't care what it is. I trust people. So I'm all about getting people going as soon as possible. I actually, Roberta, happen to have a class starting this Friday, July, 13th, Friday the 13th, lucky Friday the 13th.
Yes.
And Saturday and Sunday are the two other classes. So the classes are 4-day classes, about an hour and a half each class. The first 3 days are always consecutive, and the fourth class is a couple of weeks later. But like I said, people will sit in on the class forever. After that, no charge, and will call me and say, Kel, can you meditate with me right now? And we'll see if my schedule allows it. I meditate with people privately, and I don't charge for that.
Wow. Okay. So this is affordable, and there's a freebie if you're listening right now. And I'm delighted, Kelvin, that we did this, because frankly, I think I may try this too as soon as I can get a few minutes free to do a class with you.
Right.
I think it's time.
I also teach private classes, Roberta. So if that works better for you, then it's just a matter of two of us scheduling rather than a group.
I love this. Kelvin, it has been so good to visit with you today, and please just consider yourself hugged. I can't give you a hug after lunch anymore, but I certainly can give you a hug long distance. Everyone, Kelvin Chin, just go to kelvinchin.org, and you can find all the good things he has to help you understand and grow spiritually. I love it. And as you know, of course, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes, and I'm really glad you could be with us today. Maybe you'll start meditating too. Please never never forget that you are a powerful, eternal being. You never began and you never will end. And when you really get that and you understand what's possible for you, it's going to change everything in your life for the better. Next week, our guest is going to be David Lowe, and he's an expert in all kinds of spirituality as it's understood and practiced worldwide. His book on that subject is called Universal Spiritual Philosophy and Practice, an informal textbook for discerning seekers. This is going to be his third visit with us, and because he's an expert on dreams as well. He talked with us about interpreting dreams. He's going to come back next week and tackle lucid dreaming. And this is another thing at which I am a complete dropout. I don't know how to do it. I can't do it. But I'm interested and curious because I hear from people who can do lucid dreaming, and what their experiences are pretty extraordinary. So come listen to us next week. You're going to really enjoy David. He's a gentle person with a very matter-of-fact style and very supportive. So I think you're going to enjoy learning from him again. We'll talk with you next week about that. But this week, our guest, of course, has been Kelvin Chin. You need to meet this man. He's tall, and that voice, imagine the person that goes with that voice. He was last here a year and a half ago to talk about his book, Overcoming the Fear of Death, which I think is a wonderful, wonderful, most extraordinary thing I've ever read in some ways, because he doesn't tell people, life is eternal, don't be afraid. What he says is, here's how to conquer the fear, even if you can't believe in an afterlife. Today he talked about meditation, and as I said, I'm a meditation dropout, but I realize now that the things that made me resist meditation were largely the the religious and cultural trappings. It wasn't the spiritual practice. So I think I am going to try again with Kelvin and see if I can learn to meditate now. It certainly has had a wonderful effect on my husband. I'm not sure we'd still be married if he hadn't started to meditate and begin to cool off. So now maybe my friend Kelvin is going to be able to help me do it too. He says my husband says I need it even more than he did. But meanwhile, as you know, my nonfiction books are Liberating Jesus, My Thomas, The Fun of Dying, The Fun of Staying in Touch, The Fun of Growing Forever, and The Fun of Living Together. And for young children, The Fun of Meeting Jesus, and soon also The Fun of Growing with Jesus, which is going to be about helping children cope with death. You can order these books through bookstores or, of course, always on Amazon.com. And if you want to talk about anything, about my books, about my guests, anything at all, you can always contact me through RobertaGrimes.com. I promise I answer every email. It's now at the point where it can take me as much as 10 business days to get to every email, but I still answer every email. Just please make sure I have your correct email address. Past episodes of Seek Reality are always available on webtalkradio.net or on iTunes or through the Seek Reality app that is always available for free in the iTunes store. Earlier episodes, after a year, are rebroadcast by the wonderful people at Dream Vision 7 Radio. And if you ever wonder where I'm broadcasting now, just go to the radio tab at robertagrimes.com. Meanwhile, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Please enjoy and please make the most of this coming week in our one reality, knowing that you are a powerful, eternal being and you are infinitely loved.
You've been listening to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Join us every week as we explore what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about the one reality we all share. Knowing the truth changes everything.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.